A silly girl naps by her flowers. It is quite likely that she tired herself out with a variety of silly antics, as silly girls are often known to do. She may have a silly name too, or maybe not. It is hard to say for sure without asking her. But since she's slumbering peacefully, it would be a shame to wake her up. You may as well just give her a name right now. Farmstink Botlass. I guess? I guess her name is Farmstink. You tried to roust Farmstink from her slumber, but she is really down for the count. It looks like she's holding some sort of note. Retrieve arms from... They're right there! In plain sight! Look, they're flashing red! What pumpkin? You see no pumpkin, and frankly, it's hard to imagine that there was ever a pumpkin in plain sight or otherwise. Anyway, that would be a really terrible thing to do to poor, sweet Farmstink.
Farmstink? That is incredibly silly and a little bit rude. My name is...
Jade Harley. Your name is Jade. You have just woken from a restful nap, and as usual, you have no recollection of having fallen asleep. You have quite a number of interests, so many in fact, you have trouble keeping track of them all, even with an assortment of colourful reminders on your fingers to help you sort everything out in your mind. Nevertheless, when you spend time in your garden atrium, the only thing on your mind is your deep passion for horticulture. What will you do? Jade, it is suggested that you play a silly flute refrain. Wow, you really suck at this thing. Maybe you should try playing an instrument that you actually know how to play instead, like the one in your bedroom. Honestly, you have no idea where this flute even came from. Things seem to appear and disappear around here all the time, especially to your unending chagrin, any sort of large orange gourd that might be around. You consider throwing the flute down in disgust. On second thought, it was a perfectly nice flute, and there is no reason to take your frustration out on it. You just need some practice. But before you capture lock the flute, you will need to set your fetch modus first. You have a wide variety of fetch modi to choose from. You were really excited when your grandpa bought you this modus set for Christmas. He is a total badass, if a little strict. You typically opt for the memory modus when it comes to matters of day-to-day practicality. You set your modus to memory and capture log the flute. You allot 9 cards to the modus from your deck, since that will be more than enough for your needs at the moment. The modus grabs 9 more cards for matching purposes. The flute is split up onto 2 blank cards and mixed randomly into the grid. To retrieve the item, you must first pick one card and then pick its matching card. For the typical Silodexer, this modus presents a frustrating guessing game and a lot of wasted time on mismatching. But you like it because you seem to have a knack for always guessing things right on the first try. Squeal like a piglet and fertilise some plants, Jade. It is an awfully silly idea and is basically a waste of everyone's time. You will predictably disregard this thought and focus on more sensible objectives at once.
Oh my god, this is so much fun!
You capture log the bag of fertilizer. You decide to consult your colourful reminders. You tend to have a lot of things on your mind at once, and you can be a little bit forgetful. so you keep a variety of coloured strings on your fingers as reminders. Each one means that there is something different to remember at a certain time. In fact, looking at your index finger reminds you that there is something important to remember now. It is your friend John's birthday. The green string also reminds you that John's birthday package will arrive today. The blue string also reminds you that John's birthday package will arrive today, though in a way that means something slightly different. You are further reminded that you have some things to do outside of your house soon. But you should stop by your room first for supplies, and most importantly to see if John is online to wish him a happy birthday. Now, how about you capture log the pumpkin growing next to you? You snap up that pumpkin which seems suitably ripe for the taking. Hopefully the safety of your Sylladex will prevent it from being spirited away, like so many of its ephemeral predecessors. You make your way to the middle of the garden atrium, where a stairwell joins the 4 atrium wings. Upstairs is your grandfather's laboratory, as well as your bedroom. Your memory modus is hardly any fun without much stuff in it, so you decide to stock up on fresh produce to fill up some more cards. You pick a juicy red crab apple. And you go and pick a nice looking key lime. Then a delicious mandarin orange. Those are your favourite. And finally, a ripe yellow eureka lemon. Modus fun aside, you feel it is impossible to have too many fresh fruits and vegetables on hand. Jade, it is suggested that you go upstairs to the bedroom. Ha! You almost never use the stairs. You transportalize upstairs. Just above is your room. You enter your bedroom. On this side of the room you are immediately confronted with numerous artifacts highlighting your various interests. You are an avid follower of cartoon shows of considerable nostalgic appeal. You have a profound zeal for marvellous and fantastical fauna of an anthropomorphological persuasion. You have an uncanny knack for nuclear physics, and not infrequently can be found dabbling in rather advanced gadgetry. You enjoy sporadic fits of narcolepsy, your love of gardening transcends the glass confines of your atrium, and you are at times prone to patterns of precognitive prognostication. You consider very briefly the question, what will you do? But you quickly realise this is only one half of your room, and is therefore host to only half of your interests to choose from. Over here, there are yet more articles of your aforementioned interests, and then some. Additional telltale signs of your enthusiasm for nostalgic television mingle with your assortment of game-hunting firearms. You are a skilled markswoman, though your crosshairs would never settle on an innocent creature, anthropomorphically persuaded or otherwise. Your work table is littered with equipment to facilitate your tinkering. For you, experimentation is not particularly an exact science. You lean heavily on sharp intuition for consistently and eerily optimal results. Nevertheless, you still have not been able to get that broad, flat gizmo there to work, which is a design you have borrowed from one of your grandpa's more mysterious inventions. You are a great admirer of his, and you are not alone. Your father is a world-renowned explorer, naturalist, treasure hunter, archaeologist, scientist, adventurer, big game hunter, billionaire extraordinaire. He has taught you everything you know. But in spite of all his lessons, it is still difficult to escape his stern lectures when you are on your way out of the house to run your errands. He spends most of his time in the grand foyer, stewing in his own intensity and charisma. And today will likely be no exception. Among the errands that you have planned is to venture out and to find your pet and best friend named Becquerel. This animal must be fed, and he will not be happy if he is not. And if he is not happy, then you will not be happy. But first you should really dig out your computer and say hi to John. Now! What will you do? You equip your trusty hunting rifle. There would be hell to pay if Grandad caught you leaving the house without it. But maybe you should wonder why the design on your shirt changed. There isn't much to wonder, really. You left the wardrobe afire on its randomization setting. You may contemplate which shirt design you favour the most and commit to that setting in the near future. Jade, it is suggested that you capture log the nearest Squiddles doll and hug it. Just before you can grab one, the powerful electromagnets concealed in their underbellies become activated.
Tangle buddies!
And the two of them get all tangled up with each other playfully. You capture log the Tangle Buddies. Jade, it is suggested that you lose interest in fauna and never speak of it again. Oh, but you could never do that! What marvellous creatures they are! What a daring dream! To combine the finest qualities of humanity with the elegance and nobility of the animal kingdom! How you wish you could know their world, to hear one night those muted pawpads traipse up your stairs. A low but friendly growl unsettles your slumber, and as the sopa seeps from your eyes, they detect a sharp pair of ears cutting moonlight. A mysterious wolven tongue invites. Wouldn't these ears suit you? Would not this proud, long snout assist you in the hunt? No need to answer. Words slough from the busy mind like a useless, dead membrane, as a more visceral sapience takes over. Something simpler is in charge now. A force untouched by the concerns and burdens of the upright. That farcical yoke the bipedal toe. It now drives you through the midnight brush, your paws whisking through creepers, unearthing with each bold stomp bright odours demanding investigation. But not for long, as you and your new friend must claim the night with piercing howls moonward. You eat a weird bug, and don't even care. But maybe you should pick up your toys now, Jade. Speaking of which, you pick up and admire one of your Manthro chaps. They are wonderful friends, and always cheerful and pleasant fellows. Why, dear Mr. Coxcomb, how will you ever be received at the Barnyard Gala without the trappings of a proper gentleman? Each Manthro chap comes with a number of accessories, including articles of formal attire, a vaccination kit, and a dishwasher-safe slop trough. You then gather all your dolls into a rather cosy-looking pile. Moving on, you deactivate the Wardrobifier's randomization mode and set it to cycle through these 3 shirt designs. The decision was tough, but you think you came to the best possible conclusion. You decide to look out of your window. It is another beautiful day in your neighbourhood. It is peaceful and quiet as usual. A rather imposing volcano looms over your house, which has been inactive for centuries. Though dormant on the surface, the volcanic activity deep underground provides your house with a source of geothermal power. You are not sure why your grandfather decided to draw from this source of energy when he had the unlimited power of the atom at his disposal. But it has been this way for as long as you can remember. You have chalked it up to your family's long-standing propensity for eclectic fursuits. Wait, you mean pursuits? Jade, it is suggested that you retrieve your fursuit from the magic chest. Oh, what is this nonsense about fursuits? You do not own a fursuit. You think anthropomorphic fauna are really cute and enchanting and all, but it has never occurred to you to dress as one. Sure, it is fun to imagine what it would be like to run wild with a pack of wolves, or purr and frolic with a litter of kittens, but dressing up as an animal just seems ridiculous. It would still be just a silly girl draped in a raggedy synthetic tufty piece of crap. And seriously, who are you trying to kid with that sort of baloney? Anyway, it is not a magic chest, it is your gadget chest, which you have adapted for storing a number of useful gizmos. It was once your oracle's trunk, a gift from your grandfather, of course, and still contains many silly fortune-telling knickknacks, all of which are completely bogus. Among the fortune-telling knickknacks are these items: a crystal ball, plus compulsory velvet pillow, a tarot deck, a magic 8-ball, a magic cue ball, and one of your favourite books of all time, Problem Soothe. Among the useful gizmos are of course your computer, which you keep inside a fun lunchbox for easy transport, and a couple of gizmos you keep handy so you don't always have to make the long trip to the kitchen. There is a cookalizer for preparing delicious meals, and a refrigerator, a name which clearly is a wacky variation on the much more common household item, the refrigerifier. Moving on, you examine your magic 8 ball and magic cue ball. These things are stupid and useless. When the magic 8 ball isn't being frustratingly ambiguous, its forecast is always wrong. You have tested it numerous times with certain facts you know to be true. This is its reply when you ask it if it's your friend John's birthday today. See? Stupid! You guess maybe it could be used as a reverse prediction device, and you always trust the opposite of what it says. But that seems dumb to you, and anyway, this thing gives you a bad vibe. You might consider smashing it, but you are a little superstitious about whatever ominous consequences it might have, even if the occult talisman in question is a cheap piece of garbage. The magic cue ball, on the other hand, is said to make predictions with alarming precision and specificity. Unfortunately, it lacks a portal on its surface that allows you to view the prediction. You put both of these pieces of junk back in the box. You take the refrigerator. You may as well grab the cookalizer too. No portable kitchen is complete without it. You take your lunch top too, because obviously you're going to be using it pretty soon. Whoops, there goes your flute, but who cares? But before you go out to feed Beck, you will need to prepare a meal for him. You clear some space on your work table so you can set up your refrigerator and cookalizer. Just for fun, Jade allows you to take a stab at matching the cards to use the gizmos. It doesn't present much of a challenge for her, so she figures she might as well step aside, while providing a few generous hints. No. No. Warmer. Warmer. Cooler. No. Cooler. Cold. Warmer. Yes. No. Cold. Ice cold! You have selected the key line. Way to go. Hot! Wait! No, cold! Really cold! Frozen fucking tundra!
Hey!
Congratulations! You advance your matching skill to the new level, Yukon Hero, Legacy of the Frostbite Amputee. Jade is beginning to regret breaking the fourth wall for this ill-advised escapade. Okay, one more shot at this. If it were known in advance how terrible you were going to be at this matching game, the author may have given a second thought to preparing this cool interactive Flash application. Look at all these fruits on the loose. Good luck trying to settle them down. You just deploy the gadgets yourself. It is suggested that you stick the fruits in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. These fruits are unlikely to become less impudent anytime soon, regardless of where they are stored, but you stick them in anyway. You take a look at the refrigerator's rotary interface. You wonder what he is in the mood for today. It is suggested that you press the steak button. Well, okay. It's a rotary dial, so there are no buttons to press. But whatever, that doesn't really matter. You dial up a thick T-bone steak, which you are sure Becquerel is in the mood for, because he is in the mood for steak every day and is never in the mood for anything else. But he does like his steak well cooked. You choose to lightly irradiate the steak. He does prefer his steak rare, after all. But you will not dignify the thought of turning the knob much further, because you are not retarded.